you know, people who are serious about that are gonna come see you. You know.
I bullshit you not. 2 days ago, Manny was standing in his gym and he was looking around. He said, "See, coach, I told you I feel this." I said, "Yeah, it's packed in this motherfucker, man. They ain't even supposed to be here right now, man." But and then I seen Dave say, you know, "Hey, man, the prices and stuff." And I told him, fuck. Not only did I agree with it,
yeah,
it's still kind of, but he's not in my position, right? He's got that fucking gym to take care of. I'm just a trainer at the gym, but I was like, you fucking right, man. You ought to make that easily or more, you know. But it ain't about putting the squeeze on people.
Right.
But man, I know what it's like to own gyms and have a million people in the gym and the work that's involved. And I know Dave is over there. I know he ain't driving because of how his brain works. He get this people doing this and this people doing this and this. He'll keep it juggling, but it's work. It's fucking work, man.
Yeah.
So you should earn a living. You know what I'm saying? You should fucking get right. So I was proud to see that, man. I was glad from the outside looking in. Plus, you know, I come over there. You know that, and it's packed. It's motherfuckers everywhere, man. So
yeah. People want to learn, man.
man.
People want to learn, and I mean, at the end of the day, you know, you can't have world champions, and you can't have, you know, the best evers, or you know, without without the coaches, you know, and you know, like, you know how it is in boxing, like, you know, the boxers get all the credit.
Yeah.
Most of the time, and that's how, you know, because they're the ones doing all the work. But at the end of the day, you got to have a mastermind, somebody behind them, showing them what the, you know, proper techniques are, and strategy and all that. And that's a lot of work, and I don't think people have. I don't think I've ever seen how much, like any show or article on how much work there is behind the scenes, that trainers actually do. And some trainers are trainers, managers, and in some cases promoters, you know.
Bro, I'm so proud of little Jack, man. Because, and first of all, you know, everybody knows I met Jack when he was over there with Dave, and Dave fought him a couple times, and I know I was in the corner with him a couple of times, but that's where Jack started. And you know, whatever happened. He didn't keep boxing, but when I got back in the gym several years ago, he wanted to box, and he came over, and he fit right into that coaching situation, right? And he was like, "Coach," he's like, "Man, I really want to train people if you'll take me on, you know." And I said, he's such a good, you know the kid. He's such a good fucking hard worker and listens. I said, "Man, this ain't gonna be shit." Because I feel like I could train a trainer too. You know, maybe that's my arrogance. I feel like trainer, come on. And shit, and going on, it's like a couple of years now. He been my introduction coach for the kids, for the and now, maybe 3 or 4 years in, he's developing fighters. Yeah, bro. I'm sitting there going, man, look at this shit. Because I'm watching the whole thing, and we go over it. You know, I'm not hands off. I go over there and look and help if I see something, or give some advice. But watching him develop fighters thoroughly, you understand? Thoroughly, like I'm watching him put them on the stick. I'm watching him show them their feet. I'm watching him put the balance, and it's like a little me doing the shit, right? And I'm going, man, that makes me as proud as when we go win a fight. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, look at this shit, and then cook, and then he'll tell one of them boys, go ask coach what this, that, and the third, you know. And they'll ask me, he said, man, that's what Coach Jack said. I said, listen to that motherfucker, man. Y'all looking good, bro.
Yeah.
And I really think if we get some, if the Golden Gloves go true in January, say, man, he got some newcomers, bro. He got about 5 or 6 fighters, man. That should be silent. That should be silent. And yeah, I'm with you, man. And Manny, I got this girl, sir. I got this girl, this new girl.
Mm-hmm.
And I told you, I done changed my mind about the age thing. I used to be I used to be old school like that too. Like, man, I need to be fucking 7 and shit. And fucking Quentin taught me better than that. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, motherfucker, if I'm an adult and I'm serious, I already know what I want to do. I ain't losing to the streets or to, you know, to abroad or whatever. So this little girl, man, she's 18, bro. She came to the gym with her mom, and her father passed away, but he was a big boxing fan and shit, and she wanted to box. So I'm like, that sounds good. You know, everybody wants to box. They get hit in the fucking mouth. So I'm sitting there and I'm watching her work and I'm watching her work. And I mean, we at the very beginning stages, but it's piqued my interest. So I get up there and I have a thing. And so Man is basically putting her foundation, same way I got Jack doing it.
Yeah.
And I come in there and step. So look, the other day,
man, got a little squad of many coaches.
Watch this. He comes up to me and say, you know why I'm doing this, coach? I said, why is that? He said, because my daughter, I want to train, you know, I want to. And I said, guess what? I'll do you one better than that. That's why I want you to do it, because when you do it and your little girl she becomes a competitive boxer, amateur, whatever. I said, at the end of the day, you're gonna have to tell her, Coach Collinsworth taught me this, and I'm thinking, guess what? When I die, I'm still here. I say, so I'm all the way on board with y'all. I'm not trying to be the boss. I'm sitting there going, fucking right. I'm looking at it. I'm going, that's 100% what you're doing right there. And I go over there and make sure, you know, because I don't want to be like I'm not involved because I'm going over there, you know. But man, Jack is turning to a hell of a trainer. Man is doing his paces, as you know. He competed in the Masters. I mean, man is my age, so he ain't trying to fight, but he's boxing amateur box. But watching him teach people, bro. I sit there, man, and I feel like this is gonna hang to me at the, you know, that's the only selfish part I got. I'm like, when I die, I'm still here. I'm gonna still be here with these motherfuckers because they're gonna say, you know, and all the fighters, bro, be it Rob, Jack, you know, I got a team too. I'll catch their ass and they'll say, man, remember that, because they'll laugh. You know how I talk funny. And they'll be like, Coach said this and this and then remember that shit. And I'm laughing because I get a kick out of it because y'all don't know how important that is to me. It's important that you remember this crazy shit I'm telling you because I want you to tell the next motherfucker or your son or whoever, you know. My uncle made 73 this year, right?
73.
Right, the pro, and the one taught us boxing. And there's nobody in my family, bro, building fighters. Nobody. It's just me. And so it's like, I'm getting to the point, I'm in the mid-40s now, although they're young, and although I haven't accomplished shit yet in my mind, I got to accomplish some shit. I got to make sure these motherfuckers teach this shit. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you're there, man. I mean, you got Quentin, and I mean, I think it's just a matter of time, you know, before people start to, you know, see him, you know, as a household name. I think you're on your way. I think it's great that you're building a team around you. You know, and the examples you gave on Manny, you know, he's doing these competitions, right? Like, but at the same time, you know, when you take some time and you're able to, like, okay, you're competing and you're able to also teach. It is also helping at the same time. It's helping your technique. It's helping you really understand what you're doing. It's making you a master technician without even knowing it, you know?
Right.
When you're able to teach and apply at the same time, you're able to create, you know? And so like what you're doing is good because I think you're setting the stage for this pro game, you know, because you're going to need a team, you know, and Jack the Ripper sounds like he's going to be your dude right
I
there,
got him, bro.
you
He's
know,
with me, man.
and Manny right there with you guys. I mean, you guys have a solid foundation. Now you just got to, you know, keep on building it. And I know um, you got a fighter coming up pretty soon, right? What's the guy's name? The 40 pounder. Is it 30 pounder?
Oh, Danger. You talking about
Danger.
Danger?
Yeah.
That boy's bad, man. That boy's gonna be bad, bro.
I loved watching him fight. That I told you I liked watching Danger fight
He's
because
actually
he's like one of those guys that looks like everything you tell him to do, he's gonna go out and do it. You
don't
know,
gotta
even if
convince
it's
him
not
of
like
shit.
100%, he's gonna
Don't
do it.
gotta convince him of a fucking thing. Guess
Right.
what I'm doing with him this week? Started this week.
Yeah.
I got him walking guys down now, right? Working
Yeah.
his inside.
Right.
And he's like, oh, coach, you know, and he'll watch fighters and he'll send me clips.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, I get it. I'm like, yeah. I said, look, I made a post. I said, the minute a fighter thinks, I wasn't talking about Danger, but I was just in general. The minute a fighter thinks, I got it, coach got me ready. I could beat the world.
Right.
And I say, but wait, there's more. Like the Kaboom guy. Wait,
Right.
we ain't even did shit yet. And I
Right.
said, and he was like, man, coach, I didn't know I could walk a guy. And I said, son, it's all technique, man.
Yeah.
You got to know how you've got to do it. See,
Right.
the way he does it doesn't fucking matter. You've got to be able to defend yourself, stay out of harm's way in the inside, because there's witnesses. And his mind was blown this week. He had another epiphany. And in shape, that kid could be an amateur, you know, 132 pounds.
Yeah.
But if he was a professional, had the experience, man, he could be a featherweight easy. Just a big one, you know. But yeah, man, he's probably my favorite fighter. I always tell him, I say, yeah, bro. I say, you gonna be the next one. I already know, and I ain't gassing him up. I'm just telling him it's because of your work ethic, man.
Yeah.
And I don't have to look for the miles or the sprints. The videos come through my phone, right? Boom. And you know, and he's very proactive, sir.
Yeah.
Like when Quentin was in Colorado, that fucker will jump on a plane and fly out there and do a week in Colorado on an invite, right?
Right.
If I got Quentin sparring at Maine with Kay during the day, hey, coach, can I go over there? Sure, because, you know, Kay knows to look out for him. You won't let him in the ring with nobody. He ain't supposed to be in there. He knows how green he is. Right. So, you know, I ain't got to worry about shit, man. And this kid is like, kind of like Dave said with his fighters, you know. Say, man, I can't, just trust what I'm telling you. I can't make you trust me. But if you do what I'm telling you, you're going to be straight. Well, Danger's one of them for me. It's basically coming out the book of boxing. I don't got to fucking tell him, you know, because he gets in there, he does it, and he sees it, and it works. And yeah, man, he's fun to watch. He's fun to train. He's fun to watch grow. And just, you know, my main thing is drive. You know, I can't teach I can't teach drive.
Right.
And he's driven, bro. So yeah, that kid will be all right, man. The main thing about the drive is when they're driven, you know, when they face adversity, they'll be all right. You know, they'll get frustrated, get aggravated, you know, have a bad day and shit, but you know that drive will kick in and be like, fuck that. I ain't doing that again. Let's go. And that's what I enjoy about that kid, man. 1,000%. And you see it, you know, other experienced guys see it, and I don't even gotta tell y'all about it. Y'all pick it up. Man, who's this fucking kid? They came down. They came in from true story. They came in from you know my man Omar
Right.
Juarez, who just fought on PBC. He all his fights.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
That's another. I used to watch him in the amateurs, and I judged one of his fights or a couple of his fights before. Um, I've always enjoyed watching him fight too.
And just happens to be a great guy, man.
Yeah.
So, you know, talking to that kid is ridiculous, but I'm an Instamatic fan, right? So they came in, the dad came in, they brought Omar, they brought a bunch of fighters, and we were sparring, and they had a kid, I don't know what Omar was, another 100 fights, and him and Danger's going at it, and the dad who came with him, I don't think he was the head trainer, but he was training his son with him. He walked over to my side of the ring. He goes, man, coach, that kid's good, man. He said, I said, yeah, man, he is. He said, my kid's got 100 fights, you know. I said, yeah. I said, mine got 3. And he goes, what?
Yeah.
I said, he's been boxing about 1.5 years, 2 years total.
Yeah.
What? I say, you know, they think you're bullshitting them, but some people is like a duck to water, right? It's just where they're supposed to be. And the guy, I forget who it was, he was like, you know, he didn't call me a liar, but he was like, I said, man, that kid got 3 boxing matches, bro. He's been boxing 1.5 years, 2 years at the most. And he was like, wow. Now, that ain't the shit on his kid. Kid can fight.
Yeah.
It's just saying, just recognizing what you're saying. You see it, everybody sees it. You know, the kid can fight, man.
No, he can fight. I know he can fight. And that the other thing about that though, and to your point, like, you know, a lot of people, you know, think that, you know, you have to have, like, they measure a fighter by the amount of fights that they have, you know? And it's like, you know, people know, like, we don't even like to tell our fighters how many fights the other guy has. You know, if we know he's ready, they're ready. You know what I mean?
Time.
Just
go.
go. Because, you know, we see that all the time. Well, how many fights does your guy have? 16. How many fights does your guy have? Like over 100 or close to? No, I don't believe you. Let me see that book.
Right.
You know, that type of thing. So, you know, and that's a sign of a good coach. You know, like, you know, there's too many coaches right now putting guys in the ring, and they're not even ready to be in the ring. And I don't know if these coaches don't know any better, or they're just thinking like, okay, maybe I can build a guy up by, you know, just build his experience, because he's lacking coaching ability, so he has to build his fighter through, you know, through basically wars. By the time they're you know, they have 100 fights, they're worn out.
I was about to say, you know what I think it is? The tragedy ain't that. The tragedy ain't that part. What you just said, which is tragic. As a trainer, that's fucking tragic, right? That's not the tragic part to me. The tragic part is when a trainer believes that's how you do it because that's how he was done.
Right.
So he's passing it down. Like, you know, through the podcast, I've learned so much about these fighters' experience about, you know, how long you was in the gym before you had a fight? A week? What?
Yeah.
How long you was in the gym before you had a fight? Oh, I was in the gym like a month, man. He threw me right in there, and I'm going. You can now. Let me preface this, sir. Let me preface this. You and I have conversations outside the public, so you know me.
Yeah.
So let me preface it by saying I'm not shitting on nobody's shit, bro.
Yeah.
Do what you do it to death. Do it 1,000%. Me personally, I'm like, man, at 20 years old, at 16 years old, me, myself personally, you would have put a 25-year-old kid in the ring with me who only been in the gym for a week. I'm going to hurt him bad. Because at 16, I'm still a kid and don't give a fuck. You know, I just want to win.
Yeah.
But so I'm like, this is serious business, man. It's kind of like if somebody thought that about a 7-year-old kid, and I'm not for that either, but if they thought that about a
Yeah.
7-year-old kid, what's the worst? A black eye or a bloody nose? At the worst, at the fucking worst, his nose is leaking a little bit.
Yeah.
Fucking 14, 15. When you started knocking people out, sir, how old were you?
10. I was 10
See
when I
what I'm saying?
started.
10 years
But
old.
yeah. No,
By the
I
time
mean,
you're by the time you matured into a late teenager, you knocking motherfuckers out. Ah, they going to sleep. You can't throw these people in there to me, to my thinking, because
yeah.
you can get hurt, A, and B, who wants to learn through osmosis, man?
Right.
He get hit and you'll duck sooner or later.
Right.
Because that's kind of like saying there's no technique. There's not no technique. You just
Right.
get to your stuff. And there's trainers out there that I think was trained that way, they fought that way, and they passing it on. You know.
Yeah. I think those are the guys that probably take a lot of shots early and end up, punch drunk. The thing is that there, on the flip side of that, there's also special talents. You may have a very talented, and a lot of these guys may have very talented fighters that come to them, and they, they think they can do that with them, and those fighters are talented. But if you take those fighters with like a coach that knows what he's doing, that talent could like rise so much faster. And then in addition to that, you might have fighters that just have something, and just their learning curve is a lot faster than someone who's probably never fought before, or someone who has problems with their coordination, right? Or someone who just needs a little bit more attention. There's some guys you can fast track, right? But you still, like, for me, the first 6 months should all be in-house, learning
Totally.
the basics, learning how to, defend, offense, strategy, all that.
Totally agree.
And then you'll have some guys that, after 6 months or before 6 months, there's some special cats out there that might be able to do more than the regular person, right? And that's how you kind of start to weed out, like, who you can, throw more things to, right?
Right.
And which ones need more attention, right? But yeah, man, I mean, I see that as kind of like a problem in the sport where, you have coaches out there that just like throw you in there with the lions and they don't care.
And those fighters, and some of those fighters are successful because they have what it takes. They have the drive. They
Right.
have and they're going through a hell of a pace, man, in order to get there. And they believe
Right.
their coach's word is gospel truth, saying way things that listens to me, but they going through it osmosis. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Right.
and something needs to be said, man. Something needs to be said, and I think that's what you're touching on, sir. Sometimes a motherfucker's just a great athlete, so he gets by on that, and so you're thinking he's being coached well, but he's such a tremendous athlete, his flaws just ain't glaringly obvious
Right.
yet. They will be, but not yet. And so a guy gets so away with shit for so long until
Roy
you know.
Jones, like, probably one of the best fighters I've ever seen, but his athletic ability, to your point, that's what I think of automatically. I think when they fought earlier in their years, Roy Jones and Hopkins was a good example. That's like a good case study. You look at Roy Jones and B Hop. Roy Jones' athletic ability just was at a different level
Well,
when they fought when they were young.
I would go as far as say it's unparalleled by
Yeah.
anybody. I would go
Yeah.
that far with it.
And then, but B-Hop is more of like he's like fine wine. He's just getting better because his foundation was better. Maybe that athleticism can't be compared. But when they fought again, you really saw.
Yeah.
You really saw.
You saw the
It's a good
instruction.
example of like, look, when you really, really know your stuff, when you
Right.
really, really don't have a foundation, you know, it
It's
doesn't matter who
glaringly
you're in the
obvious.
ring with.
It's glaringly obvious.
Yeah.
I don't like to. I'm not a Roy Jones fan, but he's fucking great, and everybody knows he's great. And it's not an excuse as much as it's like, you know, Hopkins, when they fought that first time, Hopkins was so green in his development that Roy was just, you know, even they said Roy was hurt or something, but even a hurt wing didn't matter. He was so athletically gifted, and so Bernard had to develop, right? And so, but it's not an excuse. Roy Jones won, and it took, you know, it ain't no more excuse than I can't really say shit about whooping Roy when he fought the second time because who the fuck didn't know what was about to happen? But the thing is, James Toney on the other hand
Was a young.
Yeah. It's wait a minute. You got a technically superior fighter, fighting an athletic superior fighter, and a technical guy made his pride got in the way so much. I'm slick and I'm fast too. I'm not gonna let you out slick and fast me and give him the fucking fight. Right. I tell people all the time, I said, nowhere in nobody's handbook does Roy Jones beat prime James Toney boxing for boxing, unless James Toney gets in there and gets embarrassed and tries to outspeed a guy who can't be outspeed. You can't do it, and that's kind of
he got sucked into that.
That's my way of giving Roy Jones all his props that his biggest fans give him.
Yeah,
it's real. You know, who the fuck can do what he did? Nobody. You can't do that. Yeah. And in order to compete with that in his prime, and nobody did. Nobody did.
Right.
You had to be so fucking staunch in your boxing technique, and when shit was going against the grain, you had to stick to it to ever have a prayer with that dude, and nobody did it, man. He was so fast. He was so, you know, it was ridiculous, man. It was ridiculous. Like, to me, this may sound crazy, and I'm never going to repeat it again. Like, to me, that was Ali's strength, right? He was such a fucking athletic. Yeah. He was such a superior athlete to other heavyweights because he was a flawed boxer. I mean, anybody, you know, when I sit there and listen to people talk about how great of a boxer Ali was, I'm like, that's kind of fan worship. You know, he was bigger than life, but really? Because on paper, he wasn't supposed to beat half of those guys. But he was such a superior fucking athlete, he beat him. And in my world, bro, when I look at it, dude, Roy Jones got to be the best guy of that guy. I'm so good, bro. I'm so good athletically. No matter what you bring to the table, it's not enough. Yeah. It's not enough. That's fucking insane, bro. How you deal with
it? I think he as far as athletes, boxing athletes, that's the best dude. I mean, the dude played semi-professional basketball and boxed at the same time, had a game,
same day,
had a fight in the same day, and won them both, I think. Or
it's crazy, bro. He was one of those anomalies, you know. You ready to eat or what?
Say that again.
I said, is he trying to eat or what?
Yeah, he wants some ice cream. He already had something to eat. So.
Hey, bro,
Here you go. Here you go.
I appreciate you coming on with me. I'm gonna post this. I'm gonna save it and post it.
All right.
I think I got Joe. I got Joe from Next Fight Up. You know he's a lawyer, right? And he's supposed to he's supposed to call in, and we're gonna do one on the Golden Boy thing, the Canelo Golden Boy lawsuit. So you might want to check that out.
We gotta talk about that. Hey, so who were you supposed to have on earlier?
We had this heavyweight kid who had that highlight knockout when he went to Alabama.
Yes, it was it a bot? It was like a hook, like an uppercut hook.
Yeah, he froze that boy and slept him. But
he's from Houston, right?
Yeah, he's from Houston, but he had a last minute thing. He was like, I can't make
Joe
it.
Smith, right? Is it?
What's that?
What's his name?
His name is Alan. Shit. Just because you're asking me.
Okay.
Alan.
I know who you're talking about. I think I know who you're talking about. But all right, man. I got to jump on a different call for work. But
handle your business, man. We gonna go over that Canelo thing, man, and hopefully I can learn something about it, bro.
Yeah, I'll tune in.
Absolutely, bro.
All right.
All right, dude.
Bye.
Go.